So I intimidate a lot of females or women, even guys. So it's like, and then when they get into relationships, they start acting a little bit strange. I'm like, oh, I get it.
Welcome back.
What's up, fam? What's happening?
And now you know that you are on the process. Yes, the process. Where we have me, Mr.ThinkSmart, and my co-host, John.
J. Rut, the health predator, y'all.
And as you see, we have a guest. I'm going to have her introduce herself in a second.
Yeah.
But check it out. I just want y'all to remember, this is our storytelling podcast. We tell jokes. We tell backstories on our lives. And then we also bring guests like today.
Hey.
Like Nicole, and we bring them on the show to talk about different issues, different situations, just to kind of stroke that whole educational side of me, because I like people to give off that vibe of what people want and where people are going and what they can do and how we can make our lives better.
Yes.
Okay.
Y'all like that?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's just what it is. That's
Flow
just
with that.
I almost kind of like start praying.
It's silly. But go ahead and introduce yourself, because she's on last week, y'all saw Big Gary St. Louis stand up. Y'all know I got it. This is his co-host.
I am one half of the Krownjewelspodcast. Krown with a K, Jewels with an S. But I am Nicole Lumbreras, aka Young Cliff. Hi.
Say that again. With John, what she say?
AKA
Young Cliff.
They both from Oak Cliff.
OC, baby.
OC.
OC.
Hey, nothing wrong with
Is it
it.
with triple D? Is it with the this one or with the this one? I ain't threw it up for so long.
I think it was out, yeah. It's been a while.
No gang signs here.
See, no
Just
gang.
throwing up our hood.
Yeah, just the hood.
No doubt, ain't nothing wrong with that. I throw a burgundy all the time. I don't agree. I represent where I'm from. John know.
In Dallas, you get a young professional crowd, and you get the Dallas crowd.
Yeah.
I just don't want to get. I respect every side, but
Yeah.
I get it. Well, today
yes,
we got a topic,
okay,
and it kind of revolves around you
absolutely,
and not me and not John.
Show not John.
In a sense, John can attest to it, but he can't rap. He's not a woman, so
Right.
he
of
can't do
course.
it. Right. So today we're going to talk about what single mothers look for in relationships.
Gotcha.
Let me say it again. What single mothers look for in relationships. I was raised by a single mother.
Okay.
My mom did not date that much.
Same.
My mom was just into church. She dated a few men, but after my father, she kind of just focused on that.
Yeah.
Focused on church rather, and then she started. I think I was more so. I think she dated one guy when I was in middle school, and then she dated my stepfather. She started in like the end of my junior year, because he attended our church.
In high school to college.
In high school, and then they didn't get married until I had already went off to school. So I never lived in a house with a man.
Gotcha.
My father left when I was like 7, but he was always on the road because he was a truck driver. So I don't have a memory of my father being in the home.
Interesting. Because my daddy, he was a truck driver, and I have a sister that looks exactly like me in Longview, California.
Wow.
I've never met before, so that's very interesting.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, so similar story, single parent home, single mother home, but she had 4 brothers. So she happened to be the middle child. But it was 2 older brothers, 2 younger brothers. So it was a very interesting mix of men that I was raised around. My cousins were male. Ended up moving out when I was 15. Moving in with one of my male cousins. He was married at the time, but very masculine household. So I honestly thought I was a boy until I hit maturity.
Start realizing, like,
nobody ever treated me or told me I was a boy type of thing. I just thought, I was like, I get along so well with the men that I just didn't know that, like, gender wasn't a thing to me until like, a while after.
Okay.
Until I start liking boys.
So let me ask you this: Do you prefer male friends or female friends?
I like both. I love my female friends, but I prefer male friends. But the funny thing is that now that I have got a little bit, stacked, quote unquote, as they call me, body, aka body, alright? kind of hard because I don't want to intimidate, and then I'm tall on top of that. So I intimidate a lot of females or women, even guys. So it's like, and then when they get into relationships, they start acting a little bit strange. I'm like, oh, I get it. You liked me. So it's kind of weird with guys now, especially if I haven't known them like since I was younger. Right. So I get along naturally. I get along very well with men, but I love being around other women.
Gotcha.
So
Got it.
it's a balance.
So you have a son, right?
5-year-old son.
5-year-old son.
My baby.
So now you're a single mother.
Single mother, but not a single parent.
But not a single, because you are a co-parent.
I am a co-parent.
Right. But the essence of relationship is still out there.
Very out there.
So when you look at a man, not look physically at a man, but when you look at his qualities,
his characteristics,
qualities, what do you look for?
What do I look for? Okay, so
why?
Okay, so sense of humor, of course. I was very serious growing up for reasons that is not related to the topic today, so I won't go into them.
Okay.
But I was very serious growing up, and then like the last 3 years, I've been like very lighthearted.
Okay.
It was hard being a single mother at first because me and my son's dad, we just did not get along. Like very early on into like the pregnancy. So I was like, you know what? My biggest fear is actually being a single parent. Right?
I get it.
But at the same time, so coming down to dating, just going towards that route, like I'm over my son's dad, like everything's good. I'm trying to figure out how to be a mom. So when I'm dating, I'm trying to figure out, okay, first of all, you just want to see who a person is. Like I don't want to change anyone.
Right.
But my things I look for are like compassionate, understanding. Patience is a big thing for me. We don't have to be alike. I can't date somebody that's exactly like me. I have to date somebody who shares my same values, especially for peace, but can have a different view from me. Because it's super important to understand that it's two different ways, it's multiple different ways to get to the same conclusion, as long as you're looking at the same conclusion.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So those are my top 3 things: compassionate, understanding, and patient. But if you go into like the traditional male dynamic, which is provider, protector, and service, that provider piece is real big for me because I think a lot of men, especially these days, look at providing as financial. But can you balance me out emotionally? Can you open up to me in a way that allows you to be vulnerable and know that you can trust me with those emotions?
That's hard.
So you know what I'm saying? Like it's difficult.
I feel you,
it's not easy because at the same time, I'm not going to try to change someone, but I need you to be at least equal to me, equally yoked to me at the point of I grew up around a lot of men. It's not easy for me to open up, but I'm at the stage of my life where, you know what, I've been through the shit that I've been through. Can I cuss on here?
Yeah, go do your thing.
Flow with it. Do your thing. Flow with it.
I'm so sorry.
Flow with
but, you know, I've been through a lot of things, so the fact that I've accepted those things and processed, not only accepted them, but processed through the hurtful things in my life, can you do the same? Like, I can't fix you. I don't want to fix you. And as a woman, that's hard to not want to do because we're nurturers. We want to see, you know, what's broken. How can we fix it? We're problem solvers. Men are problem solvers in their own way, but we're ultimately problem solvers. Like, we're the backbone.
Yeah.
So how can we make sure that bone is straight?
Help me.
You know?
Help me. Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's the things I look for.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Now let's go into physical appearance.
Okay.
Because some people have their
I'm
perspective.
being completely honest with y'all.
Well, first of all, how tall are you?
I am 5'9.5", so I say 5'10".
Okay.
About 5'10" with shoes on.
Okay.
Heels, I'm about 6'6" something.
Okay.
You know.
Right.
Full caveat. I've dated short men. My son's father is very shorter than me.
Ain't nothing wrong with short men now. What y'all trying to say?
Well, I mean, I ain't 6 foot, so
Just saying that, man.
But
You hold it down.
This goes back into my type. So I like, my typical thing is like my skin tone are darker. I will date white guys. Light skinned guys, I stay away from y'all. I love y'all.
Why you like light skinned men?
Hold up. Rewind. Rewind.
Man.
Speed mode past that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
But I mean, I'm very multicultural. My background is very, very diverse. So I like Asian men, Mexican men.
You just like a man.
I like masculine.
You like all men but light skinned.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So anyways.
Hey, this is a great day to be dark skinned.
Yes.
Shout out to all my dark skinned men out there in the building.
But physically, like, so first thing that catches my eye, because we're gonna go, I'm gonna do two sides. I'm a Gemini, so I always have multiple sides to me.
Okay.
But naturally, like, what I'm attracted to, my skin or darker, of course taller than me, like 6 foot and higher, a little bit muscular, strong back, you know what I'm saying? That's typically what physically attracts me. But if you ask me what I've dated more guys like who have a personality that fits me.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm more laid back. So somebody who may be opposite to me, I'm introverted, so I'm ambiverted. So when I'm around people, I'm the life of the party. I can work the room, but when it's time for me to recharge, I'm okay with being by myself. So somebody who balances me out. So my son's dad, for example, he was very extroverted. We go into the grocery store. Let me put my walking shoes on because when I go in the grocery store, 5 years ago, and I still remember. But that's my last relationship. I've been single for 5 years. Okay, so we go into the grocery store. I would know what shoes to wear when I go with him. I go by myself, I can wear flip-flops. I'm going in and out. I go with him. Let's get some fun, like some actual, like comfortable, functional shoes. Cause we gonna be here for a while.
Wow.
Cause he gonna go in, he gonna speak to this person, he gonna speak to that person.
He speak like that?
He's very extroverted.
Wow.
So that balance was good because it actually kind of, honestly looking back, that's probably what formed a lot of my extroversion now.
Got it.
But I'm still very introverted.
Right. So he actually sowed the seed into like both sides.
I took positive parts from him.
Right.
Absolutely.
Literally, you got a son behind me, sowed the seed.
Of course.
He definitely sowed the seed because you took some of those attributes of him. That's dope.
Yeah.
So he played. So
not all, but some.
But I'm just saying. But his role.
He's very lighthearted.
Right. His role in your life actually played a benefit, but it just didn't work out in his relationship.
We're very good. I'm gonna put it like this: we were friends first, and I'm gonna say this little snippet. I'm all about the jewel of the day. So everybody that you're friends with is not meant to be somebody that you're in a relationship with.
Correct.
Because we weren't compatible in a relationship, but even to this day, we are the best of friends. We can talk about everything and nothing. That's good. It's a beautiful thing. We have a common interest, which is our son, and we have similar stories, origin stories, I guess. I'm in a comic book, so I love origin stories.
Okay.
But we have very similar origin stories, so it's like we get each other, even though we're very different. So, and the funny thing is, I'm a May Gemini, he's a June Gemini. So it's very different people, even though we're like the same.
Right sign. Got it.
Yeah.
So, got it. So
it's fun.
Wow.
So John, when he met his wife,
okay,
she was a single mother.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know he got a few questions.
Yeah.
And I would love to hear a little bit about that too.
Yeah, I want to hear the backside on dating a single mother from John, because I know that was his, because her oldest daughter, their oldest daughter is not biological his, but he raised her.
That's a lot to my son's dad. They were married for like 10 years before we met. And his first daughter is not biologically his, but he raised her since she was 2. So his kids, I still consider my stepkids. And when I'm dating, like when I say y'all, I don't want to be with this man. I knew 6 months after I was pregnant, this is not it for me. I'm okay with not being together. You can be in your son's life. I won't give you no issues. Don't give me no issues. You know what I'm saying? We're not compatible. They happen. Things happen how they happen. But we're not going to be together.
Right.
So with that being said, and I'm just talking here, but with that being said, like anybody that I date, I would want to, of course, take my time with them and not look at them as a father figure for my son, but just look at them as a person. And then if that comes into play, then it plays out.
Right.
But I've already had this conversation with my son's father, like, hey, when I do get in a serious relationship, I want for y'all to be close. Because if something happens to me, y'all need to be able to communicate.
Exactly.
And I don't care about what your ego is and what your feelings are. Y'all need to be able to communicate.
Exactly.
So whenever I get to that step, that's how I want it. That's what my outlook is, and I share that with him. But at the end of the day, like when I'm dating, I'm not looking for a father for my son because he has one. And so I got lucky there, but definitely want to hear your perspective.
Well, when we first started dating, first thing I want to say is that my oldest baby's biological father, he was murdered. He got murdered, so that canceled that out. But I have raised her since she was 2 years old. And when we were dating, my wife, Pam, made it known that, hey, this is my daughter. Accept her or you don't accept me. Period.
Yeah.
And that was like the first thing up front that she, let me know. Which I've always wanted a child anyway.
Of course.
And my prayer was, and I literally prayed for, because all of my friends had babies, and I was the only one that didn't have one. And my prayer was, Lord, I want a child. I want a little girl. Well, Charmaine showed up. She was already here. I wasn't a dad or whatever, but, and then, some other things happened and we ended up getting together. But when we were dating, the one thing that we've always had an issue with is discipline.
Yeah.
Was discipline, especially when she was 2 years old. She's 22 now, and we've always combated with that. Because I was raised in a home where popping was standard.
Okay.
I mean, you had to, if you messed up,
You guys are men, so I'm gonna ask y'all about that. I'm always interested in guys' perspective.
Okay. Keep going about that.
Yeah.
I want to hear more about this.
I do too.
Well, but like I said, I was raised, in a disciplinary household.
Okay.
Now, she was raised in a disciplinary household too, but they were raised more they would talk. Her parents would talk to them
and
more
explain
to them.
I got something to say when you get there.
But if they stepped out of line too far, then they would, get, handled or whatever. And then we finally came to the conclusion, because I said, I want to be in your life. I want to be in Charmaine's life. But what's not going to happen, we're not going to let discipline separate us. We're not going to do this. But now, if you're not going to let me discipline her, then I can't be with you. That's not going to happen.
I get what you're
because
saying.
she's not going to run the house.
Oh my.
She's not going to run the house.
Pause it. I got just a brief snippet real quick. So I dated a woman back in the day.
Okay.
Maybe it's been about 5 years now. Maybe. She had a daughter. And I am a firm believer in spread a rod, spoil a child.
Yeah.
So, but I am an advocate. I'm an advocate of children not always getting a whooping all the time. So it's a balance.
Okay.
Exactly.
Because I feel like my upbringing was brutal.
I got something for that.
I got tore out the frame.
Yeah.
But she, because of the way she experienced her chastisement as a child, it was a little bit more harsh because I think the parent ended up physically
Handling
her.
Yeah.
And so she didn't want to tap into that mindset of doing.
I'm gonna
so
speak
she
into that.
never
would whoop
her daughter. But I would see the results of it. I'm like, she gotta get something because she getting over.
Oh, really? Yeah. Ooh.
So let me say this. So I'm very open about me, of course, because I'm on a platform where I'm a co-host on a podcast. So of course I'm going to talk about me. But I was raised in like a single parent household. My mother was actually bipolar and schizophrenic. That's where my patience bone comes into place. It hasn't always been there, but it's developed over time, mainly because of that. We used to get physically abused, and God rest her soul, but she didn't know any better. And that's another thing I'm trying to understand is how am I as a Generation Y individual so different from her, even though we had the same upbringing, where I'm not going to cross that line of being disciplinary to abusive. So that's always been a fear of mine. So for me, even though my son is in 2 different households, I do kind of tread that line lightly because PTSD is real.
It is.
And when I hit him, and I'm heavy-handed, when I hit him, I'm like, okay, I want to be a disciplinary to him, but I might not need to do that right now. Especially if I'm pissed off.
Oh yeah.
I won't touch him.
Yeah.
I won't touch him, even if he deserves a whooping at that time.
Yeah.
But it's like, you gotta understand, kids will be kids.
Of course.
I don't take him anywhere where he has to be quiet because he's 5. I want him to be able to play. In my house, we yell, we talk, we laugh, we do all of that because I think that's important for a child to be able to be a child. I never really had a childhood, so I'm not necessarily living through him, but I am living with him. You know what I'm saying? So I believe in being able to discipline a child, but physically, I do struggle with that. And I'll call his dad like, hey, B, like, he did this. Do you think this deserves a whooping? Because he knows how I am. He knows I don't like to whoop kids. But I do believe, again, in, I share your sentiments. Spare the rod, spoil the child. But at the same time, I was raised in an abusive household, so I don't really know.
Take too far.
I don't know what discipline actually looks like.
Right.
Because I was abused.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So, and it wasn't, I'm not blaming her because, yes, she did it, but that mental illness comes into play as well.
Right.
So it's like, does she really know? And then her father was very hard on them as kids. So she was just doing what she knew.
Exactly. And see, with my wife, she explained to me, like you said, you know, like Jonathan, you don't have to whoop her for every single thing. But that's the way I grew up.
Right.
Well, 'cause I was bad too, but still.
Right.
You know, I was being a child and I was, you know, cutting up and this, that, and the other. But she explained to me, Jonathan, you don't have to whoop her for everything.
Yeah.
Some things you can just sit down and just talk to her.
Yeah, because kids will talk. I talked to my son's father actually complimented me. It's very random that he compliments me because I mean, I'm pretty sure he knows I'm a good mother. But when he says it, it's like a whole different like, what you about to do to piss me off? Like, being nice to me. But he'll be like, you know, you're a great mother. You talk to him as if he's a human being and not as a child, and you don't belittle him. And I think that's important because my thing is this, and I don't know what y'all thoughts are on this, but I can raise a child, but I cannot teach a man how to be a man.
Right. Pause. That's where I want to go to. So let's use that perspective in your new relationship.
Okay.
So what role as a single mother would you want that man to play in the household? Because I say this because
Are we talking about boyfriend or fiance or
we talking about future husband. Or no, we can go further. We can do both. We can say because I know a lot of single mothers don't bring men around their children until they know it's serious.
Right.
So we don't even got to talk about
And even
that
when it's
stuff.
serious, I'm very
weary of it.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
I still have so many issues in myself. So when I date, I just kind of I do it sparingly. To be honest with you, I have a lot going on, but it's just like, I mean, I have my own issues. So
We all do.
my thing is, I want to be whole, and I want somebody else to be whole. I want us to balance each other. I don't want somebody to fill me up like I can fill myself up.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? But to answer your question, as far as like, you said what when I bring my child?
Let's go straight into marriage.
Okay.
The next man is gonna be in there because, you know, if it's not his dad, it's gonna be somebody else.
Of course.
So how does he, the man, that from your perspective, how you view him, how is he supposed to deal with discipline?
With discipline.
With your son?
That's gonna be tough for me because again, I was abused as a child. So any type of physical, I just get a little bit. I feel weird about it.
So it would have something to have to be explained between the three of you all.
Exactly. I would rather him talk to my son's father. My son's father, he was married for 10 plus years before we got together. And then he already had kids. So my son, he has big brothers that are like teenagers. When I met his kids, I still consider them my stepkids. When I met his kids, they were very well behaved. So whatever he did for them, I'm okay with him doing for my son.
Got it.
So that's a conversation. Again, it's going to take a particular type of man to be accepting of that because I don't do egos. I don't do pride. Like, y'all don't have to talk. I don't have to be involved in everything.
Right.
Especially if I'm dating a man that doesn't have children. So again, patience is a big thing for me.
Right.
I'm not asking you to go to my son's father and say, can I? I'm asking you to go to him and say, what do you do? What would you do in this situation? Especially if the guy that I'm dating doesn't have kids. Because I'm still young. A lot of guys my age don't have children.
Right.
If a guy does have children, of course, I'm going to be observant of how he treats his children. This one guy, he fit every freaking point on my list, right? If I was to have a list. I really don't have a list, but he fit everything. He made me feel special. He was like a man's man. Like, he wasn't loud. He was the strong, silent type. Tall, dark, handsome, blah, 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 blah. He fit it. But the way he talked to his daughters was a complete turn off. And I told him several times, like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
This is the thing that I told him, and I was like, it's not like I just shut him down and like kind of ghosted him. I told him, like, I like you, but I don't have to make you talk to your daughters. Like, you can't talk to your daughters like that, because eventually they're gonna grow up. I've never been in an abusive relationship, but of course, as a woman, I know plenty of women who are in abusive relationships. And this is one of the starter packs the way you talk to them.
That's what they're gonna attract.
That's what they're gonna attract, because they think it's okay for men to talk to them like that. And the funny thing is, he never talked to me in a disrespectful way, but the way he talked to his little daughters.
Wow. That is a red flag.
I was like,
that's kind of interesting, because usually men are reversed.
You would think that he would talk to me the way he talked to his kids, but he treated me like amazingly. And it was just crazy. Like, when I heard him talk to his kid, I'm like,
You need to go off on.
Ooh.
Man, that's crazy.
Wow.
Man.
Crazy.
So, you know what? We're going to end right there.
Okay.
So, because I think you gave enough jewels from a perspective. But what we want you all to do, single women, even single men, or men and women, boys and girls, you see this? I need you to comment.
Please.
Below.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. But I need you to ask questions, because we can get them to it.
Yeah.
If you ask a question in the comment section, I can shoot that to Nicole real quick, and she'll be like, put this for me.
Yeah.
Or she can go to the view. She go view it herself and answer your question.
Absolutely.
We need you. I'm gonna put all of her information in the description box at the bottom. So I need you to I need you to not just like this, not just subscribe to us, but I need you to subscribe to her.
Yes.
I need you to go to her YouTube if she got one. I don't know.
Have a YouTube.
She not yet.
Not yet.
You need to go to her Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. And I need you to check out the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So I drop that jewel again.
So, Krownjewelspodcast. Krown with a K, Jewels with an S.
Look at
It's a
that.
podcast.
Let them know where to find you at.
You can find me on Instagram. I'm only on Instagram at Young Oak Cliff, and it's spelled like it's how it sounds. So YOUNG.
Right. You always forgot.
Dang, I almost said the YUNG.
Right.
But it's YOUNGOAKCLIFF.
Yeah, Oak Cliff, not
Oak
Cliff.
Yeah, I say Oak Cliff. But it's Oak Cliff.
Yeah, everybody say Oak Cliff, but
yeah.
it's Oak Cliff.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be funny if everybody said, I'm from Oak Cliff?
You're from Oak Cliff.
Yeah.
The Oak of the Cliff.
Oak of the Cliff.
Yeah. I'm from the Oak of the Cliff. That's funny. But family, as always, we salute the divinity in you, and we will see you next time on The Process.
If you know, nobody's a no.